Good morning, Yankees universe. KOD Nation, stand up. You degenerates, wake up and get your coffee. Welcome to a beautiful Wednesday morning, June 1st, live from New York City, the Dykeman area. This is your new episode of the Yankees Morning Brew. My guys, how are you? We just here chilling. Had a day off yesterday because the Yankees weren't playing, but hey, it is what it is. We got to be able to enjoy these when we can, but I'm here, fellas. Hope you guys are all well. Hope you guys had a beautiful day off. Hope you enjoyed your Memorial Day also. Let me know what you guys did in the chat. What barbecues you guys went to. If you guys stood with the families, put that in also. Something that was weird of the day, I don't know why, but for some reason there was no baseball game that was happening. My guys, it feels so good to be back. Good morning, Keith. How are you? Hope all is well, player. Hope all is well. After a beautiful Yankees win, last night also, I for some reason I found out that there's a curse on the New York Knicks. Check this out. Thanks to my guy Keith, he sent me this little video. And, us Knicks fans, we're still recovering from the season. The Yankees are bringing us, some good light, but brought it to my attention that for some reason, since the 40s, every NBA Finals has included somebody that played for the Knicks at one point in their career before they made it to the finals. And it's upsetting, but good news at the end of the day. But here on this Wednesday, what is up? We're here to talk Yankees baseball, and there's a list of things that we're going to go through. First of all, my man Anthony Rizzo, he came through yesterday. Leroy, what is good? Yes, sir. The bottom of the lineup did do some damage. It was beautiful to see. It's what we needed. Jose Trevino, our amigo, came through as well. He had a wonderful night, 3 for 4, 2 singles and a home run, but I'll get to that later on. But Anthony Rizzo, he came out yesterday. He had a double. He was 1 for 4. Anthony Rizzo starting to get some hits here and there, but we need Rizzo to turn it around because ever since that hot start he got off to in the month of May, Anthony Rizzo is batting 136. I know he's happy that the calendar turned to June 1st. He can start a clean slate in this month. Aaron Hicks, at this point, we could all accept the fact that Aaron Hicks is our 4th outfielder. Right, with Miguel Andujar coming up, playing solid left field, getting hits left and right. Joey Gallo in right field. Joey Gallo had a couple hits yesterday. How we doing? Couple hits and a walk. But Joey Gallo in right field. And if you look at it, I understand we want to keep Judge healthy for 162 games. I understand that. We don't want him out in center field all the time. I get it. I understand that. But when you look at it, Aaron Judge is a better defensive center fielder than Aaron Hicks. Aaron Hicks at this time, 32, 33 years old, it's past him. He doesn't have it. You see it from the numbers. The numbers just show it. So, Aaron Hicks, he's going to be designated to the 4th outfielder spot for this team. We got Giancarlo Stanton. Giancarlo Stanton was in BP yesterday, if you guys seen it. And also, if you guys are joining on Instagram Live, click that link that's in the bio and jump over to the Twitch and YouTube world. We got a lot of people in here going back and forth. And again, shout out to KOD, Knights of Degen. It was a tough season, but hey, season 2 went out with a bang. Season 3 would just come back stronger. That's what it is. As you guys see me, I got my bucket hat, my traditional bucket hat. You guys remember the bucket hat when I was on For the Love of the Game, but now we here. Is it NYPD should have arrested Judge for the robbery in center field. Sorry, Sorry, Showtime. Absolutely. Shohei Ohtani got robbed by Aaron Judge. And as Michael Kay and the announcers brought it, that home run would have been a home run in 20 of the 32 different ballparks. Let's go, Mets. Hey, listen, competition is competition, and good baseball is good baseball. As you know, this may be a Yankee channel, but it's not only Yankees. We touch up it all, whether you're an Angels fan, Met fan, whatever. So if you want to click on that link in the bio and come on over, you definitely can. But let me see this. Leroy say fourth. I think he's a fifth. Judge and Duhar, Gallo, Stanton, and Hicks. Absolutely. Absolutely. Right now has it set up. Yeah, when Stanton comes back off his injury, like I was saying a little bit while ago, he was in BP yesterday. So if you did watch the Yankees batting practice, they did show him. He looked like he was limber in the cage and doing his sprint. So it looked like we'll be getting Stanton back in a couple of days. So hopefully that works out and he could be healthy. But with Judge in center field, I think they'll stick Stanton at the DH spot just for now. We got Josh Donaldson, who's coming back around after getting injured. But yeah, it's a lot looking good. I know a lot of Yankee fans were upset after this weekend because of the 2 game that we split. I mean, the 4 games that we split with Tampa Bay, losing the last 2 of the series. And I get it. You're going to have, especially on Yankees Twitter, especially on Instagram, you're going to have that corner sector of the fan base that just loves to hate the Yankees. No matter what the Yankees do, no matter what Brian Cashman does, no matter what Aaron Boone does, there is a small sector of our fan base, and we have to admit it is, but there's a small segment of our fan base that no matter what the Yankees do, they just hate the Yankees. And we've seen it over the weekend. Thank God the Yankees had a day off so they could come back and win today against last night against the Angels. We got another game tonight. So yeah. The Trop is our kryptonite. Yeah, it kind of looked like we was able to figure them out those first 2 games. I think that 3rd game over the weekend, that Saturday game where the umpire was squeezing Garrett Cole. I think that right there got into Garrett Cole's head, and then I think it got into our team's head at the same time, right? But seeing how our team bounced back, especially after an off day, the Angels coming in, the Angels victims of a 5-game losing streak. They lost yesterday, 6 games now. But this is what we got to take advantage of. Noah Syndergaard yesterday came in and he was horrible. He was horrible. Wasn't the same as he was before. I know he's coming back off an injury. I get it. Yeah, and last night also, the umpire yesterday was horrible as well. It's starting to become a theme, and I'm not one to say that automatically we should just go to the robo umpire, but check this out. In 2022, when the technology is what it is, and you're seeing umpires in live action, IRL, making the mistakes that they're making, it just puts out a sore thumb. There needs to be some way that some plays need to be reviewable. That has nothing to do with the teams calling for a challenge, if you understand what I'm saying. My man Keith said, here's what's crazy. Crazy stat HQ. Yesterday, the Reds beat the Red Sox at Fenway for the first time since 1975. Whoa. You guys remember that 1975 World Series, the whole boom, 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 please go fair. Oh, wow. That's crazy. The Reds have been having a horrible year too, but that's crazy. They started to have a little wins here or there, but yeah. Wow, 75. That is a long time ago. So what is up with these umps, man? I don't know, man. A lot of and I may say this, it may be, if you're set in your old ways, right? If you've been doing something for 5 years, 6 years, 8 years, 10 years, 15 years, however long these umpires have been umpires, not only at the major league level, but the minor league, college, and however long, you're going to come with a little bit of, not arrogance. Arrogance is the wrong word, but stubbornness, right? I'm somebody who's an electrician. I've worked with plenty of electricians that, I have a certain way how I like to do my job. I like to be super neat. I like all my wires super neat. I like all my runners super neat. I like everything super neat and organized. You get some guys, especially the old timers, that aren't like that. So work with a couple old timers wiring a security system. Then you go in after them to clean up, just to tighten it up, just because your OCD is going crazy. And then they get in their ways, and then argument happens. I feel it's the same way with the umpires, right? They don't want to acknowledge when they're wrong because for some reason they're gonna feel like they're lesser. Don't know why. I'm not sure if it's a pride or ego thing, but sometimes you got to be able to admit when you're wrong, correct it from that point forward, and let's just move on. You know, period. He kept calling time and running out behind the plate too. He did that shit like 4 times. Yeah. And for some reason too, he was very fascinated in throwing the ball back to the pitcher. I get it. You may have been a baseball player in your younger days, but let the catcher get it. Stop messing up the pitcher's momentum. Because Jordan Montgomery last night was dealing. He had a rhythm to him. He got his first win of the season, which is shocking. June 1st, the 31st yesterday was March, however May, but first win of the season. Crazy. But keep going down the line. I brought up Aaron Hicks, our 5th outfielder for this point only. Aaron Hicks this season with runners in scoring position, he's 3 for 28. I repeat that again. With runners in scoring position, Aaron Hicks is 3 for 28. So right now, what can the Yankees get for Aaron Hicks? Absolutely nothing. If the Yankees, it's going to come down to the Yankees having to eat the last 3 years of his contract. He's signed for this year and the next 2 seasons, $10 million per, $30 million. I think the Yankees are going to have to do it. They're going to have to just eat this contract and walk away from Aaron Hicks. I don't think it's going to be anytime soon. We just got into the month of June. We're not even at the All-Star break, but I believe before we get to the All-Star break, Aaron Hicks is not going to be our center fielder. Now, is it going to be via a trade, right? What are we going to do? Are we going to look at the trade market as well, the trading block, to see what teams are willing to give up, whatever they want to give up? Reminder, we still have Ender Inciarte in our minor league system. He's hitting over 300. Estevan Florial is still in our minor league system, and whenever he's in the minors, he's hitting, because down in the minors, he's producing. I think his last game, he was 3 for 4 or 2 for 4 or something like that, if I'm not mistaken. But in the minors, Estevan Florial is producing. Now, it needs to come a time that the Yankees allow Estevan Florial to come up to the majors, give him 30 at-bats. Just give him a small sample. Let's see 30 at-bats from Estevan Florial, 50 at-bats from Estevan Florial. You get from him, whether it's a 4th outfielder or coming in here or there or taking him out or in certain situations for a pinch hitter. But we need to see 30 to 50 at-bats from Estevan Florial to see what we have. Is that a fair request to ask of the front office? I think it's fair. I think it's a decent ask. It's not that hard, right? So if we were to get a sample size from Estevan Florial, we can see what we have. Right now is the perfect time, June 1st. We got this month, right before we get to the All-Star break and right before we get to the trade deadline, to see what he has. Let him make his mistakes. If he's going to overrun a ball, if he's going to run a bad route, let that happen. I would rather, and I could live with Estevan Florial and making those type of mental mistakes instead of seeing what I'm seeing from Aaron Hicks, right? Once Aaron Hicks hits the ball on the ground, I know it's a double play. I know he's not going to beat it out. But with Estevan Florial, there's a good chance that he could beat it out. And I was waiting to say this, but let's go Blue Shirts. Hey. Oh, my voice is cracked. Don't make fun of me. But yeah, let's go Rangers. Let's go Rangers. Because for some reason, my man Jim James Dolan could figure it out when it comes to the Rangers. But for some reason, he can't get it together with the Knicks. My Rangers, you seen them. They beat the Carolina. Now we got Tampa Bay coming in. Our next series. I know the Tampa Bay Lightning is a mini dynasty. You know, some want to say that the Golden State Warriors of the National Hockey League. I'm not going to say that whatsoever. But Tampa Bay Lightning, they have been tough on us. This year, we've been good with them. They're not the same Tampa Bay Lightning from last year. So hopefully the Rangers could pull this out in 6 games. I'm calling it. Rangers in 6. I'm calling it. But yeah, what can we get for Hicks? Nothing. If the Yankees were to DFA him, there wouldn't be any team out there that's going to pick him up in his contract. So they would have to DFA him, wait the 7 to 14 days, I believe. Let him go into free agency, and some team will pick him up as a minimum major league signing. 500, I think it's 600, 700,000 minimum with his service time. I think it's probably like 2 to 3 million, something like that. But somebody will pick him up, not for the money he's making, but once he's DFA'd and the Yankees eat that contract up, absolutely. And now when you have Joey Gallo is a little bit interesting. What's upsetting is that the 4 prospects that we traded for Joey Gallo, 3 of those prospects are in the Texas Rangers top 13 when it comes to their prospects. So that's a bit upsetting. They had their third baseman, Josh Smith, make his major league debut a couple days ago, and he was 3 for 4. We could have used that third baseman. Not only is he a third baseman, but he hits from the left-hand side. So we definitely could have used him. The pitcher as well, forgot his name, but he pitched against us this year, and he was solid for 5 or 6 innings. You know? But before the Yankees got Joey Gallo, and then I bring up the prospects to just put it out, we would never get those prospects back in a move. There's no way we're getting those prospects back. So, as much as I love a Juan Soto and want Juan Soto with the Yankees, right here is where I get scared, because Brian Cashman prospect hoards the wrong prospects, right? I get it. Josh Smith came up. He had a solid first game. Let's see what he could do for the rest of the year, or the sample size of the month. The same sample size I'm giving to Estevan Florial, I want to give to Josh Smith before I could truly judge this trade. But as of right now, it looks like the Rangers run that trade. A trade partner that wanted to get Joey Gallo was the San Diego Padres. So I'm not sure if the Yankees and the Padres could swing something. The GM or assistant GM out there in San Diego was working with the Texas Rangers in the front office when they did sign him originally, when they drafted Joey Gallo. So maybe he'll take a chance on him. But hey, not too sure what we can get from Joey Gallo, if we could get anything for Joey Gallo, right? I brought up the Stanton taking BP. Jordan Montgomery yesterday was solid. He gave us 7 strong, solid innings. I'll pull up the stats right now. But going into that 7th inning, his pitch count was very economical. He had 78 pitches starting off that 7th inning. And guys, make sure you get your coffee. Oh man, so let's take a deep dive into that real quick. Look at the lineup. Give me 1 second to pull it up. I'm gonna start off with the Yankees since I was just talking about them. I'll touch the Angels later on. Here we go. Now with the Yankees, had a solid lineup. He had DJ LeMahieu leading it off. He was 2 for 4. The center fielder, Aaron Judge, he was 0 for 3. Anthony Rizzo got that double down the line, 1 for 4. Gleyber Torres was 2 for 4 with a triple and an RBI. It should have been a triple, but he slid off the bat. He was credited with a double. Miguel Andujar, the left fielder, was 1 for 4. Matt Carpenter, the mustache and mustachio, was 1 for 4 with a home run, 2-run homer. IKF had solid defense. IKF is 1 for 4. Jose Trevino, our amigo, was 3 for 4 last night. And then Joey Gallo, 2 for 3. When you have this bottom half of the lineup with IKF, Trevino, and Gallo all getting hits, that's a recipe for a win in my book. Especially when you have Carpenter getting a home run, IKF getting a single, Trevino and Gallo. It's a good night. You could tell it's a good recipe for success. Now, when you look from the pitching side of it, Jordan Montgomery was solid. Like I said, keep Joey Gallo in the knife. Yeah, Just keep him in a knife hole. That's the only time it seems like he's productive is when he's hitting in that ninth spot. You know, God, it's been awful for Joey Gallo. Like when it was bad with A-Rod, it was never this bad. Like Jesus, oh my God. But let me see. Montgomery, 7 solid innings, economical innings as well. He moved away from his fastball, started going more with a cutter. It's great. Something we love to see from Monty. Great. But in those 7 innings, he gave up 4 hits. The 1 run was a home run. He gave up 1 walk, and he had 4 strikeouts. His curveball was filthy. That home run did come on the curveball, but that was the only one of those curveballs they were able to hit all night. Then you had Miguel Castro come in right after him. Miguel Castro, he pitched the inning. 2 hits, no runs, no walks, and 1 strikeout. Castro got himself into a jam, but was able to wiggle his way out of it, which was, good to see. But that's the thing about Castro. Sometimes when you watch Castro, it's sometimes you're like lost in your head because sometimes he looks like Armando Benitez out there, and then sometimes he just looks unhittable. He looks like Dylan Betances circa 2016, 2015 sometimes out there. But he has a nasty slider, and it's disgusting. Then you have Mckay, who came in right after him, David Mckay, young man. It's not his first cup of coffee in the big leagues. He's been with other teams, but with the Yankees, I think this was his 2nd or 3rd appearance. But, he was a bit shaky. I get it, in an inning that he pitched, he gave up 1 hit, no runs, 2 walks, no strikeouts. He had the bases loaded, but he was able to get those pop-ups, those flyouts when he needed it. Montgomery notched down his first win of the season. He's 1-1. So it's a solid night overall. When Judge is 0 for 3, but we win with the score that we won by, you could tell that we had a good night. And that's what we need. When Judge cannot carry us for this entire season, he cannot put us on his back 162 games. That's just not how baseball is. Baseball is not basketball when LeBron James could go out there and score 30 plus points a night. Okay, he said Trevino snap throw to first and throwing Duffy out. Oh man, it absolutely was. And you've seen it. Every aspect of Trevino's game. Trevino's 26 years old. He's young, a spring chicken. Defensively, he's been solid. Offensively, you're going to get what you can get. So this makes you pull back on the thoughts of a Wilson Contreras. Because as much as I love Wilson Contreras, what him and Trevino is doing when it comes to, batting stand, but offense, the offensive side of the game is basically the same. Defensively, Castillo has it. I'll give him that. But it's the same. So, and he's a free agent this offseason. So if you want a Wilson Contreras, right? He's a free agent. Just wait till the summer so we can sign him. But Leroy said that throw was fantastic. Trevino had his best. Yes, he did. Trevino had his best day as a Yankee yesterday. Yes, he did. Yeah. Once I found that out last night, I was like, oh, solid. Let's keep him. Let's rock with him for a while. 26. He's young. He's going to be 27. Let's rock with him for a while. I think we'll be good with Trevino. It looks like Kyle Higashioka is the backup catcher. With Ben Roitbike, when he comes back, the catcher we got from Minnesota, I think Higashioka is going to have 2 steps out the door. Yeah. Leroy, you was just thinking the same thing. I think Kyle has lost his spot. Yep. Kyle Higashioka has lost his spot as our starting catcher. Special thing I wanted to show you guys. Let me see if we can see it. But hold on. Got it out of storage, but it's a Bernie Williams autographed baseball. Yes, sir. I wish I had it out of storage that day that I saw Bernie and Tiki, but I know the future will have many more occasions for me to bring this up to Bernie. But let's look at the future with these Angels. Look at this Angels lineup. Cole won't be happy. I think Higashioka will only be pitching to Garrett Cole from now on. I think that's what it is. But with the Angels, got Tyler Ward, who was college classmates and roommates with Aaron Judge. But Tyler Ward was 0 for 4 last night, the right fielder. Shohei Ohtani was 1 for 4. He got that double later on in the game. Mike Trout, 0 for 4. And Mike Trout as well was 0 for 3, I think, against the Rays or the game they played prior. So he's in a little cold spell. Now, will Mike Trout continue his cold spell? We got 2 more games left with the Angels, so potentially 0 for 8, 0 for 10 in those next 2 games. Not sure. Hopefully, when he does get a hit, it's not in a big spot. But then you got Matt Duffy. And then Rufino. Rufino was the guy who got the home run against Montgomery last night. But when you look at this Angels team, and then they're top heavy with Ward, Ohtani, Trout, Rendon is injured, you're not going to win a lot of games. If you have Matt Duffy as your cleanup hitter, and Matt Duffy is a solid major league player, I'm not trying to take anything away from him. But when you have Matt Duffy as your cleanup hitter, you might as well have Joey Gallo, right? But after Rufino, you got Stacy, you got Walsh, you got Juan Lagares, the former great Met, who was a part of that championship when went to the World Series, that team that went to the World Series and almost won the championship. But the Gold Glover, who refuses to retire from baseball, he was 1 for 3. He had a double last night also. Then you had the former Yankee, the prize of the Bronx, a young kid from the local area, Andrew Velazquez. Andrew Velazquez was 1 for 4 last night. And if you ask me, if Andrew Velazquez was to play every day as an everyday shortstop, he'll win a couple Gold Gloves because that's what he's known for, his defense and his speed. Anything else you get out of him is a plus. But pitching side, the aforementioned Noah Syndergaard, the former Met, he pitched 2 1/3 innings yesterday. He got lit up early. 7 hits, 5 runs, and 1 walk. And Noah Syndergaard just didn't have it. He was topping out 94 miles an hour. I get it. He's coming back from Tommy John surgery. But this is June 1st. Will Noah Syndergaard ever get his velocity back? It's sad to say. This is sad to say. But Keith said, the Angels are a better team when Rendon is healthy. Absolutely. That's the perfect batter to have protecting Mike Trout. He did it for years in Washington protecting Bryce Harper. So Rendon would be the perfect player to have behind Mike Trout. As you've seen, since he's been gone, they're on a 6-game losing streak. They lost first place to the Astros since his injury. Yeah, and Leroy, that was a beautiful play from IKF yesterday. Oh, man, beautiful. IKF yesterday, that play he made was amazing. And it's tough to see. You don't like to root for a team's failures or teams to get injuries or anything like that. Like right now, when it comes to the Yankees, I understand we're in our position. Our schedule was a lot favored towards us. We played the Baltimore Orioles, almost 100 games so far. But injuries is a part of the game. Look at our squad. We went from 1 week having the best bullpen in baseball to 3 of our top guys being injured, with Chapman, with Chad Green, and with Loizaga. That game that we lost with Marinaccio the other day against Tampa, one of the last games that we played against them, he would have never came in that situation. It would have been either Chad Green or Johnny Lasagna. But when you have injuries, it's the next man up. And that's the mentality you have to have. In 162 games, in a 162-game season, everyone's not going to be healthy. You're going to have your injuries here or there. It was a couple seasons ago that happened to the Yankees, and Aaron Boone was like Houdini. He was able to make magic tricks happen left and right to get a win. We won 100 games that season. 100. He said, to be honest, I feel like this team is so deep, these injuries haven't been a bit. Yeah. When you have the pitching that we have, right? And I'll get into the ESPN segment that went viral a couple of days ago. If you guys didn't see it, I ain't gonna bring it up, but when you have a team that has this pitching and you got Jordan Montgomery going 7 innings, right? Nestor Cortez, who's pitching tonight, went 8 innings the last time, right? You got Luis Severino, who could pitch you into the 7th inning. Garrett Cole, if it was up to him, he would have stood in that game and pitched the 7th and 8th inning. So when you have a rotation like this, if you're watching this with your eyes, you could tell that this is one of the top, if not the top rotations in the American League. Point blank, period. We've been healthy all season. Knock on wood. Don't want nothing to happen. Don't want none of our pitchers stubbing their big toe. But when you look at this rotation, if you're going to say anything but this is a top rotation, you need to be drug tested right now. You know, he said, in the playoffs, do we even shorten the rotation? It depends. It depends, because I brought it up other times. Nestor Cortez never pitched over 150 innings. Jamison Tyon's coming off of an injury. Luis Severino's coming off of Tommy John and shoulder injury. So right there, you got 3 pitchers who you're not sure you're going to get 150 innings from, right? When it comes to the playoffs, would I shorten the rotation? It depends. What am I going to? Am I going to move someone and bring them out the bullpen? You know, will I be bringing Jamison Tyon out the bullpen or Luis Severino out the bullpen? You know, as it's set up right now, if I had a 7-game series, obviously Garrett Cole would be pitching number 1 because he's a $300 million ace. Nestor Cortez would be the second pitcher I throw out there. Jamison Tyon would be the third pitcher I throw out there, and Luis Severino would be the 4th pitcher I throw out there. That's just me. What we're saying out of Jamison Tyon, and I said this a couple days ago, or last week or whatever, a few shows ago. When you're watching Jordan Montgomery, Jamison Tyon, and Garrett Cole, when either of the 3 of them are pitching, and they cut to the dugout, you always see those 3 together. Period. Last night you saw it with Montgomery. Montgomery pitching, cut right to the dugout, and then you have Jamison Tyon and Garrett Cole right there going over the previous inning that he just pitched with the iPad. Where was his mistake? Oh, you gave up that home run. What was the count? Maybe you could have located it better instead of up and in, down and away. You know, I brought up the fact that Jordan Montgomery threw way more cutters than he ever did in any start. Is that an effect from hanging out with Garrett Cole? Maybe. That Yankees pitching coach, he seems like he knows what he's doing. He knows a thing or two. So you have all these different things that's happening right now with this team. And I'm loving what I'm seeing from it. Like I said, the early 2000s, when we had those great offensive teams, we would have dreamed to have the pitching staff that we have right now. If we had this pitching staff and this bullpen back then, oh man, those dynasties would have been continuing, would have been all throughout the 2000s. But our issue was pitching. And Brian Cashman made a conservative effort to fix the pitching problems for these Yankees. My man Ron, what is good? Salute. 3 capital S's, like Jay Boogie said. Awesome video on the draft, right? Kai Soto has been someone that I've been following for years. I love the breakdown, Ron. If you guys are Knicks fans or just NBA fans in general, still Knicks fans, my man's Ron and John. They got D Poetic helping them out as well. But it was an awesome draft breakdown, previous video, and then the Kai Soto video that you just put out. Awesome takes. Love it all around. It helps me while I'm walking my dog. but Ron, we got to set it up one of these mornings, man. Maybe, you know, we got I think next month, the Subway Series, Mets and Yankees. We got to set something up that you come on and we have a conversation about our Mets and Yankees, right? He said, I need a report that CC started a thing where all the starters sit and watch the bullpen session for. Yep. And I remember when CC started that. It was CC and Tanaka, you know, the veterans, right? You know, one thing we could talk about CC Sabathia had 3 solid years with us, right? Right when he signed with us that first year and those next 2 following years, Then he went through what he went through when it comes to, the whole alcohol issue, and the Yankees stood by him, helped him through that. And CC Sabathia has been a class act. CC Sabathia, signing CC Sabathia to the Yankees, it was more, looking back on it, what he meant to the Yankees, it was more than just baseball, right? It was leadership, not just on the field, but off the field as well. Keith brought up the report, if you see before every game while the starting pitcher is warming up, the rest of the starting pitchers and bullpen are with them in the bullpen warming up. So when they throw that last pitch, it's a team effort. It's a team effort. And for CC Sabathia to implement that, a lot of credit goes to the veterans he was around. Andy Pettit helped CC Sabathia. So it's, CC Sabathia holds a special place in my heart and many Yankee fans' heart as well. Like I said, CC Sabathia, right, make it happen, baby. It was more than just baseball. The leadership that CC had out there, whenever someone was hit, CC was the first one out the dugout. CC wasn't the fastest, but whenever there was a situation, CC was the first one out of the dugout to protect his guys. We seen it when he was pitching in a game and you had a few Yankees that were thrown at and hit. And it was the game that if he pitched an extra inning or got that last out, he would have got a bonus. And he said, screw that bonus. I'm throwing at this guy and getting thrown out. But CC, class act. I would love one day to interview CC and be a part of what he has going on with Ryan Ruocco over there. But if you guys haven't checked it out, check out the R2D2 with Ryan Ruocco and CC Sabathia. He said, I love CC. Cashman should have offered him yeah, I would have. A special instructor. We're going to be seeing him, from now on at spring training with the young guys. I would. Honestly, I would love to see CC in spring training with our guys. I would love to see him as a special instructor. I can't wait. I cannot wait for the day that CC Sabathia comes back to participate in Old Timers Day, because CC's going to try to hit, and he's going to try to hit a bomb into that left field, right field stands. You know it. He's going to see that right field porch. CC's going to be aiming for that. Put him in the Old Timers game. You already know CC's going to be aiming for that. But let's take a look around the league. Working on a graphic for that, so you guys don't have to always hear my high pitchy voice. But around the league, real quick. Like I said, we have tonight's game. I'll touch in tonight's game right after this. What if we can just pull this up? You got the Yankees with a solid lead now in the AL East, right? With Tampa Bay losing and Toronto winning, there was a leapfrog. So now the Yankees are 34-15. Toronto, who's been turning it on lately, 28-20. They're in second place. Tampa Bay, 28-21. And Boston, if you guys haven't been checking out, Boston has been turning it on. JD Martinez is looking like the old JD Martinez. If Boston is out of it, they're 11.5 game back. I get it. I understand that. But those are still one of the teams that I do not want to find later on in the season, and they could mess up our standings, if you understand what I'm saying. And now with the new playoff lineup as it is, I think they have a third wild card team this year, if I'm not mistaken. With the new playoff around alignment, and nowadays it's no more tiebreaker decides it. It's a run differential. So that's why nowadays there's no more just, all right, we're up by 5 runs in the 7th inning. Let's stop scoring. No, those runs count. Those runs go for the tiebreaker. So if you can score runs, because that tiebreaker is not there anymore. But yeah, Boston did get embarrassed yesterday, but I figure at the end of this month, we would truly see and understand what Boston is. I could see them, if they're totally out of it, JD Martinez being a perfect option for the Mets for a DH. That'd be the perfect option to have as a DH, JD Martinez for the Mets. But now, let's move on to the Central. We got the Minnesota Twins. Hold on. I said it, the Minnesota Twins. If anybody had on that bingo card, the Minnesota Twins being the best team out the Central June 1st, you just hit bingo. Bing, 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 bing. Because the Minnesota Twins are rocking. Gary Sanchez had a 3-run home run the other day. He's looking like he's found himself a new home with Minnesota. But they're 30-21. And then every team after that is under 500. The White Sox are 23-24. The Cleveland Guardians are 21-24. The Detroit Tigers, shout out my guy Coach Richie and the Detroit Tigers. The Detroit Tigers are 19-30. And then you got the Kansas City Royals at 16-32. The Houston Astros are 32-18. And if you saw it, hopefully everything works out. I know, Yankee fans aren't the biggest fans of Jose Altuve, but there was a collision between Jose Altuve and a first baseman the other day that was pretty bad. It looked nasty. I think Jose Altuve stood in the game, but hopefully nothing happens, no long-term effects. We don't want to risk injuries on anyone, even if those people when it comes to the Astros, we don't want to risk injuries on nobody. So hopefully Altuve is fine, and that first baseman, I believe he was from the Oakland A's, he's fine as well. You said it, not me. But continuing, the Astros are 32-18. The LA Angels, who we face, are 27-23. The Texas Rangers, they're starting to turn it around. They're 24-24. I know a lot of people said that the Texas Rangers won the off season, but that don't mean much when it comes to like actual baseball play. I would like to see a collision between Altuve and Judge. If that was to happen, it would be on par or very similar to watching a Wile E. Coyote cartoon trying to chase the Roadrunner and just going right into the wall. That's what would happen with Altuve. He'll just run right into the wall and just be flat. Keep found that funny. But yeah, Texas Rangers, and like I said, that third wild team card, that third wild card adds a different dynamic to it. Because any team that's out of it could be in it. Personally, you got the LA Angels. That third wild card could affect them. They could be a reason they get into the playoffs. Never know. But on to the National League, the senior circuit, as they call it. You have the Mets, who have the best record in the National League. They're 34-17. The Yankees have the best record in baseball, though. But the Mets are right behind them at 34-17. And shout out to the Mets. They've been playing some real good ball lately, especially the rookie that they had. Rookie came up, definitely forgetting his name. He, in the 9th inning, tied the game. The next game after that, had a 3-run home run or a 2-run home run. So the Mets are finding the pieces that they're finding. That's how you win playoff baseball. That's how you get to the World Series. By having contributions not only from your mainstays, from your 1, 2, 3, 4 guys, but also from rookies, also from pinch hitters, also from journeymen. And the Yankees dynasties that we had, we had Jeter and O'Neal and Martinez and Knobloch, but we also had Vince Caino, who helped us out, Luis Sojo, who helped us out. So it wasn't just the main guys that was helping us out. We had additions from other guys. But the Mets they have the biggest division league in all of baseball. The Mets are 10.5 games up on the Atlanta Braves. And this division is just, you got the Braves 23-27. You got the Phillies 21-29, Miami 19-27, and Washington 18-13. The Philadelphia Phillies, it's been horrible with them as of lately, defensively, of course. And there's rumors and talks that Joe Girardi is going to be let go. So you'll probably see Joe Girardi in a yes booth pretty soon. But on to the NL Central. You got the Milwaukee Brewers, who are 32-19. Then the St. Louis Cardinals, who are 28-21. And then after that is a pure drop-off. Pittsburgh is 21-2017. For some reason, Pittsburgh is keeping the young phenom O'Neal Cruz away from us. If you guys seen it, O'Neal Cruz hit a home run the other day, and he just looks miserable down there in the minor leagues. Like, he knows he has the talent to be in the majors. He is feasting on minor league pitching, and it's kind of upsetting. It's kind of upsetting because O'Neal Cruz needs to be in the majors and doing what he's doing down in the minors in the majors. And like I said, go on YouTube, Google, and go on YouTube, look up that O'Neal Cruz home run that he had, his last one, and you can see what I'm talking about. You look miserable. It's not a good look for baseball, honestly. Pirates, you guys got to do better. But to the West, and the best division so far, but you got the Dodgers, 33-16. They've been on a losing spree these last couple of games. The Pirates did beat the Dodgers last night. The Padres are 30-19. The Giants are 27-21. Now you got the Diamondbacks who are under 500 now, 25-26, and the Colorado Rockies at 22-26. So there's a lot of parity now in baseball. And like I said, with that third wild card team is going to be the big difference. But for tonight's game against the Angels, before we dip out, for the Angels, you got the left-handed pitcher, Reed Detmers, the rookie who had, I think it was a no-hitter he had early in the season, but ever since that no-hitter, he hasn't been the same. On the season, he is 2-2 with a 4.65 ERA. His whip is a 0.91. It's pretty solid, but his innings, he's pitched 40 2/3 of the innings, 26 hits, 27 strikeouts, but 11 walks. He's been also a victim to the home run ball, giving up 7 home runs in just 40 2/3 innings. So that's something that he needs to control. Yesterday with the Angels, with Syndergaard didn't give you that much length, but they were able to get 5 innings out of someone out of the bullpen, so their bullpen's going to be rested tonight. But for the Yankees, we send Nasty Nestor Cortez, who should be in the All-Star game with the way he's pitching. But Nasty Nestor, he's 4-1 on the season with a 1.70 ERA. His whip is 0.85. And in 53 innings, he's only allowed 33 hits. He struck out 61, and he's only walked 12. He's been touched up by the home run ball 4 times only this season. So for the Yankees, the same recipe like yesterday. Jump out early on them. Give Nestor Cortez an early lead in that first inning, second inning. Hopefully we could get to him. But the batting leaders for tonight, for the Yankees and Angels, when it comes to home runs, Judge is leading the Yankees with 18. Mike Trout is leading the Angels with 13. Batting average, you got Judge with 303. Mike Trout is batting 302. Runs batted in, Judge has 38. Mike Trout has 32. So out of those 3 categories that I just mentioned, if you include the fourth one on base percentage, Aaron Judge has a 371 on base percentage, and Mike Trout has a 402 on base percentage. So that's the only category that Mike Trout is ahead of Judge on. Defensive metrics are different. I can't really get into it. And I've been trying to find WAR, but I really can't find WAR, honestly. I'll figure it out. I have it for the next game because that's something that Midope won it last time. But guys, we have a great game later on today. The Yankees and Angels. If you're going to be in the stadium, take some video, send it to me on Instagram. We're showing on the show tomorrow, And like always, like, comment, subscribe, share with your friends, share on your socials. KOD Media is in full effect. So please help us grow. We're at 428 subscribers. Join this journey as we make our way to 500 and beyond that. Thank you, Ron. I appreciate that. Hey, guys, it's always good times here at the Yankees Morning Brew. And you degenerates, wake up and get your coffee. Later.